Ashley Benefield, a former model and ballerina, finding herself at the center of a high-profile trial after being accused of shooting and killing her husband, Douglas Benefield. Claiming self-defense, Ashley's case sheds light on the complexities of domestic violence and the legal challenges that arise when trying to prove justifiable force. All this weekend on the Hidden Killers podcast, we're examining the case of Ashley Benefield, examining the events leading up to that fateful day in their Lakewood Ranch, Florida home, and the allegations of abuse Ashley made against Douglas. We're taking you to the courtroom for raw audio from the Stand Your Ground hearing of Ashley Benefield all weekend here on the Hidden Killers podcast.
So the next entry I want you to read is from 5:53:38 on the same day.
Okay.
And what does he say?
So it's an outgoing message from Doug to Ashley, 5:53. Do you want to get together tonight or in morning before mediation and unify the instructions for Faith and Stephanie? Think we are going to need to keep involved until this is done or will drag out.
Her response.
Her response at 7:02 is, ha, okay, thumbs up.
And his response.
And his response at 7:05, thumbs up, prefer tonight, maybe run over Pandera or in morning, or AM, sorry.
And she says?
At 7:24, she says, sure, can do Panera tonight.
And the next entry?
Next entry is outgoing from Ashley to Doug at 7:24. It says 8 question mark.
Okay. He sends a thumbs up.
Yeah, 7:27, he sends a thumbs up.
Okay. And then they're telling each other good night. Good night, sweet dreams.
Yes.
And the next day in the morning,
So
7 o'clock. Who is that from Doug?
Yes, it is. It's from Doug to Ashley on 9/24 of 2020 at 7 a.m. and it's another attachment.
Okay. And for the record, what is that?
Another Bible verse.
Okay. I'm going to scroll through. This entry here is 9/24 at 10:09 a.m.
Okay.
Can you read what that says?
9:24 at 10:09 a.m. It's from Ashley to Doug. It says, quick and easy, LOL.
And his response?
His response, he emphasized quick and easy, LOL. Then at 10:26, so nice to experience quick and easy, finally, LOL.
Okay, so I'm going to scroll again. On the same day, 12:50 p.m., can you read this?
Okay, so yeah, 9:24, 12:50. This is from Doug to Ashley. It says, just to ponder while I finish up, thinking about getting all the cars up there, and I thought was to ship the Cherokee up there by transport, which is $900, and either tow my truck or tow your Jetta. The U-Haul plus the car trailer is about $1,000. That's for the biggest truck, which gives us plenty of room. The option is another pod and tow one of the cars behind my truck. Overall price about the same. U-Haul more flexibility, like taking things straight to storage.
And she says?
Her reply at 1:27 is, okay, things to think about. Maybe best to have you drive the U-Haul and tow your truck behind. Mom and Katz will go in the Jeep, and I'll drive with Emerson in my car.
Okay. I'm scrolling up again for the record. And the next day, 9:25. This is 2 days before the murder.
So 9:25 at 5:45 a.m. There's a message from Doug to Ashley, and it's another attachment.
And what is this?
It's another Bible verse.
What is the next entry?
So the next entry is 9/25/2020 at 6:03 a.m. It's from Doug to Ashley, and it appears to be another attachment.
And if you could read what this says? It's
Sure.
an attachment, but what does it say?
Live a life filled with love.
Okay. And he says, good morning.
Yes, so at 9:26 a.m., he sends her a message saying good morning.
Right. And then what is the next thing he says?
The next thing he says is at 9:27 a.m., and it says, Dr. Q is at 10:30. Do you want a chai?
Okay. And they go on talking about the tea. I'm scrolling. This is one day before. This is 9/26 of 20 at 6:43 a.m. What is this?
So this is a message again from Doug to Ashley, and it appears to be an attachment.
And what is that?
Another Bible verse.
And he says?
And he then sends her a message, good morning, at 9:40 a.m.
And she responds?
9:54, she loved the image. Then at 9:54 and 17 seconds, good morning.
Okay, and then I'll scroll a little bit. So this is 9/26/20 at 12:27 in the afternoon from Ashley. What does she say?
So Ashley sends a message to Doug, want to come pick me up and we can go get the truck.
And he says?
He replies, sure, heading that way. Then later, let's see if at 12:41, I be here.
And
then at 9:04, good night, sweet dreams.
Okay. And she likes the image or loves the image? And
Yes.
says good night.
Love the image and then replies good night at 9:23.
Okay. So the next day, 9/27, this entry's at 6:42 a.m. What is this?
So this is another message from Doug to Ashley at 6:42, and it's another attachment.
And this must be one that we can't open. So he says after the attachment.
So at 10:02, he sends a good morning with some little emojis.
And she loves the image and then.
Love the image at 10:06. So then 10:06 and 10 seconds replies with good morning.
Okay. So there are several short messages. And then at 1:03 p.m., this message appears to be from Doug. What's he say?
So Doug sends a message to Ashley, what y'all working on?
And she responds.
She replies, last cram, LOL, using the big boxes and getting the last loose stuff packed up and ready. That was at 1:15.
And then she also says.
How's it going over there, making progress?
Okay. And his response?
His response at 1:18, loose stuff, should be a chapter in our book, LOL. Got everything out and in garage, ready to throw on truck, except couch, aka bed, pretty much emptied. Taking Sully to get his shots, then to doggy spa to get groomed and stay until ready to go.
And he says after that.
At 1:19, I'll come there and drop him off at 3.
And then she laughed at the message.
Correct.
From him. She also liked the message, I'll come there after 3.
Yep.
And then what'd she say?
Then at 1:20 p.m., great, could you run by Lowe's before you come over? Grab a few more large and mediums.
And he says?
Sure, I need a few too.
She likes that. And then she says?
She likes that. And then at 2:36, just to be safe, let's do 10 of each just for the last bits here.
And he likes that.
He likes that. And at 2:36, he also replies, okay, let me know anything else if think of.
And then she says?
Tape. At 2:50, she replied tape, but then also LOL.
And he responds?
At 2:50, he says, ha, okay. Then at 2:51, just finished the vet, headed to the spa, LOL.
And she laughs. And
Correct.
then the next entry.
At 3:45, he advises that he's headed there.
Okay. And she says?
She replies at 3:51, okay.
Then he says?
At 3:54, I'm here out front.
And her response?
Her response is at 3:55, okay, 1 minute.
Okay. So he must have left at some point. This jumps 2 hours or an hour and a half. And the next entry is from Doug to Ashley and says what?
At 5:10 p.m., it says I'm about to head back.
Okay.
Then at 5:11, there's some kind of an attachment that's sent from Doug to Ashley.
And then at 5:11 p.m.
At 5:11, Doug sends another message to Ashley. Everything and except couch and 10 medium boxes and 22 cab, LOL.
And she laughs at that.
And she laughs at that at 5:14. At 5:14, she then sends a message to Doug, ha, OMG.
And he says.
And at 5:32, he sends a message back, trucker on the way.
And what time was the 911 call again?
Was it 6:56?
Okay.
Approximately.
When was Ashley arrested?
A little over a month after this occurred.
Okay. And why'd you wait so long?
We were trying to do an in-depth and thorough investigation, to look at every aspect of what was going on. She had made a claim of self-defense, and we wanted to make sure that we did everything possible to either prove or disprove that.
Okay. Was a booking photo taken of her at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the date? Do you recall?
Not off the top of my head, Alex. It was a little over a month.
Okay. Beginning of November?
Yes.
Yes. Here. Judge, this is the certificate of business records that the state did a notice of for the booking photo of Ms. Benefield.
Okay.
Object relevance.
Relevance is she looks exactly the same as she did in the other two sets of pictures that were taken.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Same objection.
I'll overrule.
Okay. I'm just going to put this up.
I don't know. What number is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. State would enter into evidence states 46.
Subject to the objections that I've overruled, received.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you. Oh, Judge, I don't know that we ever got a ruling on 45, but
No, go ahead and do your cross, and then I'll hear all of the
don't
argument.
let me forget. So
What was the number on that one?
45,
There we go.
the one that there's an objection?
Yes, 45. Okay.
May I?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Detective Warren, afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So you testified that you were the lead on this case, and a couple of questions I think would be appropriate. The lead is kind of like the quarterback, no?
You could say that, I guess.
All right. And the lead is also the one with the most comprehensive knowledge of the investigation and how it's shaping up and where it's going.
The lead is typically the person that has the overview in mind.
So that's a yes?
I'd say we work as a team, but sure, yes.
All right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but as the lead detective, you developed the theory of the case.
We all actually sit down and look at the evidence. I don't, like I said, I don't go out to every scene. I go out to a lot of them, sure, but we have other individuals that do certain things, so it's really a group effort.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you remember sitting down for a deposition with me?
Yes.
And do you remember that was testimony under oath?
Yes.
You took the same oath for the deposition as you took this afternoon when you came in before Judge White, no?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember being asked the following question on page 9, paragraph 3? Okay, so as part of your responsibility as the lead detective, you would develop a theory of the case, would you not? Answer, sure.
My answer is still sure.
Okay. Now, you've told us on a couple of occasions that you wanted to make sure you did a thorough and comprehensive investigation.
Is that a question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. And that is because you certainly wouldn't want to jump to a conclusion on any case, much less a homicide accusation.
That's correct.
All right. And as a result of that, you spent quite some time after this incident running down leads and doing the investigation so you could make a fair and objective determination of what, if anything, was to be charged.
Correct.
And that included you investigating self-defense and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'd like to ask Jack if he would assist me on this. I'd like to put up on the screen, if I can now, the warrant that you authored.
And Judge, no, Jack, is there impeachment here?
Yeah, I mean, is this impeachment?
Yes, it's coming.
We need to ask him the question.
Hold on. As to which questions so far, the thorough investigation, which?
The thoroughness of the investigation, its objectivity and fairness.
Okay. I think there should be some specific questions to impeach with the document. I mean, is there going to be an inconsistent statement? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you'd give me a little leeway, Your Honor, I think I will satisfy the court that the questions that I'm about to direct are appropriate, and I will tie it up.
All right. I'm not quite sure because he hasn't answered any questions about the search warrant.
What is?
No, this is the arrest warrant.
The arrest warrant.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think the question needs to be a little more pointed. What exactly is this different than? What are you saying this is different?
Hold on. No crosstalk. Just go ahead. Put your arguments on the record.
I would like to know what exact statement is being impeached and what he's using to do.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, that's my question too. I'm not exactly sure what specifically you're impeaching from the testimony he's stated so far.
Okay. If the court will allow me to approach the witness,
okay,
I think I can set the predicate.
All right.
Detectives, let me show you this document and ask you if you recognize
it. Appears to be an arrest warrant. Yes, sir.
And whose arrest warrant is it?
Ashley Benefield.
And did you fill out and execute that arrest warrant?
I did.
All right. And that arrest warrant, correct me if I'm wrong, is a statement by you under oath that you took to a circuit court judge.
It is.
All right. And when we say a statement under oath, same oath again you took before you came into court this afternoon.
Yes.
And you represented to the judge that the facts stated in the attached affidavit to that arrest warrant were true and correct.
To the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Now, if I may, Your Honor, I'd like to put a select portion of that warrant up and ask him some questions.
Go ahead.
And I will demonstrate.
I still want to know what's being impeached.
Well, I have to ask the question first.
Right. So generally the police report itself would not be admissible. So I need to know what the questions are, and then I'll need to see if that's materially different so that it could be used as a impeachment, as a prior inconsistent. I assume you're doing prior inconsistent statement.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I want to ask him about is first I want to establish what he said in the warrant. And then I'm going to show that a select portion of the warrant is in fact not accurate.
All right. Well, I think that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. I think we got to have the testimony here and whatever that testimony is, and then we'll figure out if there is a prior inconsistent statement.
Okay. I understand. So that is the warrant and attached affidavit that you actually served.
It appears to be.
All right. Now, everything that you had to say in there is true and correct based upon your oath.
Based upon everything I know to the best of my knowledge.
Would you tell Judge White whether or not, prior to you submitting this affidavit, you authored 2 prior affidavits, 2 versions?
What do you mean, 2 versions?
Did you author 2 separate and independent versions of that affidavit before you finally settled on the one that is before you?
I worked on the arrest warrant, so I can't. I don't think I ever sent anything up. This was the first time.
No? Okay, so you know about Florida's public records law, do you?
Sure.
All right, and you know it applies to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's see if you can identify this.
If I could just see it before. These are some of, Judge, first off, I would object. This is a conversation between me and the witness about drafting the warrant. It has nothing to do with what he submitted to the court. This is conversation between he and I about how it should be phrased. So I don't really understand what's being done right now.
Your Honor, these are 2 proposed prior warrants of the same version that was actually filed that are statements of this witness. And I'm going to show the court the difference between them and what was intentionally misrepresented and intentionally omitted.
To the court?
To the court that signed the actual warrant. In other words, I'm going to show that this witness has materially made prior statements inconsistent with that warrant, and that there were things intentionally omitted from that warrant that were previously included in the other warrants.
All right, so this is where I'm getting confused. If we're going to impeach with a prior inconsistent statement, I don't think you can start that process with an out-of-court statement and then impeach with prior inconsistent statements. It's my understanding we've got the testimony here today, whatever that might be, and then there might be prior inconsistent statements, inconsistent omissions, commissions, who knows. But I'm not familiar with this. Do you have some cases about impeaching a witness who hasn't yet made any statements using 3 potentially disparate out-of-court statements?
Well, I think, Judge, if I can break it down for the court, I think we've had a statement by this witness on direct to the effect that this case took time because this detective wanted to be objective and fair and make certain that a proper investigation was done. And I am going to impeach that statement by showing that he knew otherwise and had already concluded otherwise, and that the statements delivered today in front of this court are false. And I can do that through his prior inconsistent statements.
Can I have them?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Possibly, if they were prior inconsistent statements, but
I don't know.
I would just also ask for a copy for the state. These were never provided in discovery. I just took pictures of one of them on my phone so I can at least read it, but the other one we've never seen except for briefly this morning.
Are you asking for a Richardson hearing?
I'm just asking if it's possible for defense counsel to provide us copies or something so we know exactly what's going on. We may have just gotten.
Can I suggest maybe, Your Honor,
Yes.
the court excuse the witness?
Sure.
And we take
Detective Warren?
Yes, sir.
The rule's been invoked, so
Yes,
I'm going
sir.
to have you step outside.
Sure.
Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody, your answers, the question to ask, anything like that. All
Yes,
right?
sir. Thank you.
Can I assist the court by leading the court through what I intend to establish?
Well, let me read these first.
Sure. It's the highlighted portions, Your Honor, in particular, that I plan to go to.
Highlighted portions of what?
The proposed affidavit.
They're not, first of all, Judge, we need to make clear that these are not sworn affidavits. These are emails. So these are not sworn to documents. It's just the proposed. This is the proposed body of the PC.
I understand.
Okay.
There is more to come in the Ashley Benefield Stand Your Ground hearing. We're bringing it to you all weekend long here on the Hidden Killers podcast. Press subscribe so you don't miss a minute of courtroom coverage. I'm Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.